Hi, I'm Katie, a manifestation expert who's helped people all over the world attract love and manifest the greatest relationships of their lives. Each week, I share the real secrets to manifesting love and creating a better dating life, so you can finally be done with exes, ghosters, commitment phobes, and all the other lovely walking red flags, and finally manifest your person. I'll also be answering all your manifesting questions and unpacking what's hitting the headlines when it comes to dating, love, and relationships. This is That Manifesting Podcast. Welcome back to That Manifesting Podcast. I'm your host, Katie, manifestation coach and mentor, helping people all over the world to manifest better dating lives, love, and the greatest relationships of their lives. How has your week been? Mine, honestly, has been what most people would class as dull, but for me, it's been epic because I can finally fit into some jeans that have been stuffed at the back of my wardrobe for ages. Granted, I can't quite breathe properly, but I can do them up. I have been working super hard at being consistent with my eating and exercise. I'm incapable of dieting and I love my treats. So I've just been focusing on a calorie deficit so that I can shift a bit of timber while still eating the things that I really like McDonald's and chocolate. My motivation has been to feel good when I go on holiday with my sister later this year, because when we went last year, I hated the feeling of excess belly and thighs jiggling all over the place. So I've been fully committed and it's finally starting to pay off. But I laugh because I think, God, I've changed so much, because years ago, me telling you about my week would have consisted of drunken nights, dance floor snogging with random people, and other questionable life choices. But I'm just saving all of that behaviour for my holiday with my sister. So yeah, tune in later this year. I might have some more exciting stories for you. But let's get into it. So first up, we've got your messages and your questions. Okay, this person wants to remain anonymous, which is absolutely fine. Love an anonymous message. But they have asked, Katie, how do you know if you will ever manifest a relationship or if you'll actually be single forever? Now, this is a great question. And when I read it, it totally inspired today's segment where I'm going to go into more detail on something manifesting wise for you. So I'm sure that will also help. But to give you a really simple answer, the beauty of manifesting is that you get to choose the outcome. But remember, the outcome will always be a result of where your attention is. So if your attention is on being single, then you'll manifest more of being single. But if you move your focus into knowing that you'll be in a relationship and trusting the timing, enjoying your life to the max as you go along, then it can come to you. Now, I know that's easier said than done, but that later segment of today's episode will totally help with that. Now, I've also had a text message come in, again from Anonymous, hello Anonymous, that says, after listening to your embarrassing story about being sick, if you didn't listen to that, go and listen to last week's episode. I had to message in with how I made a fool of myself. Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you for going there with me and sharing your shit stories. Okay, so they said, I'd been chatting to this person online. Their pictures were amazing. They were proper fit. But when I got to the pub for our first date, it was like, whoa, completely different person. Not at all like their profile, total catfish. I literally wanted to just turn around and walk out, but my stupid politeness just kicked in. I couldn't do it. So I sat there trying to pretend I was interested, just nodding and making polite noises. Oh, I've been there. I get this so far. Eventually, I just knew I had to escape, but the thought of saying it to their face was horrifying. So I went to the loo and there was a good-sized window. I figured I could just squeeze out and leg it. So I tried. But my skirt, which was made of chiffon, got completely snagged on the latch as I was climbing through. It ripped my skirt clean off as I jumped down from the window. I ended up having to run across the car park in just my top and my knickers. Mortifying. Oh my God. That is a good story. Now, that has never happened to me. I have wanted to jump out of windows many a time, but that, oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you, but also I'm quite glad because it is excellent for my podcast. Thank you for sharing that, Anonymous. And now I totally see why you wanted to stay anonymous. Let's get into love and dating in the wild. All right, settle in, because we've got to talk about this event in the media. Now, I know it happened a couple of weeks ago, but this is the first episode I've recorded since it went viral. Sometimes things happen in the world of love and dating that are just so wild you couldn't make them up. And oh boy, has the universe delivered recently. I'm talking about that Coldplay concert and a couple of cheaters who are now probably wishing that they'd just stayed at home and listened to Yellow on repeat from their own living room. Seriously, how unlucky can you get? You're at a Coldplay concert, which, let's be honest, is already quite a questionable life choice for some. You're cuddling with someone who is not your spouse, and then bam, you're splashed across a giant screen for tens of thousands of people and then millions more online to see. The sheer audacity, the public spectacle of it all, to me is truly wild. Now, we've all seen those kiss cams at sporting events, but typically they're for wholesome, legitimately coupled up fun. Not for outing an alleged affair in front of Chris Martin himself, who, by the way, with his typical British understatedness, just casually said either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. I mean, you could not write this stuff. Now, my take on it is that my heart absolutely goes out to the innocent parties involved here, like the actual partners and families who've been dragged into this very public and very painful mess, because they don't deserve that kind of humiliation. At the same time, let's just take a moment to appreciate the sheer, unadulterated karmic retribution that's at play here. Because, in my opinion, cheating is never okay. And sometimes the universe just delivers a slapdown of epic proportions. So maybe next time, just skip the concert and save your alleged infidelity for a travel lodge like normal cheaters. Or, just don't cheat. There's a thought. Okay, it's time for Ick of the Week. I asked for icks and you lot did not disappoint. Now, I'm not saying I agree with these three, but they did make me laugh. Again, all anonymous. You lot are so shy. You don't want to give me your names. You're just sending this anonymous stuff in, but I'm here for it. Okay, the first ick is when you need him to open a jar and he can't do it. He's going red in the face, grunting, and then says something like, "It must be faulty." I mean, I can't relate to that because I haven't had a man in my kitchen since about 1943, but I do get that one, because there's nothing like a man trying to be all strong and brave with a jar that can't then open it, and then he blames the jar. No. Okay, second ick, when he wants to be the little spoon in bed. Oh my God. I've never had that happen to me, but I can imagine why that would cause an ick. I'm kind of old-fashioned. I like the man to be the man, and I must always be little spoon. If someone wanted to be little spoon, I'm not sure how I'd feel about that either. I don't know. The third one, oh my God. The third one was sent in, and it says, when he does a loud poo at my house and then says, I wouldn't go in there for a while. I laugh at this one because this has happened to me. Not me doing the poo, someone else doing the poo. But he used to do it all the time, and it literally made me feel grossed out. I know it's a normal bodily function, but please do that in your own house before you come to mine. That's just not on. And especially saying I wouldn't go in there for a while. Like, mate, bring a can of air freshener if I haven't got one. Gross. Anyway, thank you for those icks, and thank you to the earlier anonymous person that sent me in their question about manifesting. Now, if you want to get involved in the show, you can do that. You can text in. The link to text is in the show notes, or you can DM me on social media. My name on social media is The Manifesting Mindset. Send me your messages. If you want to be anonymous and shy, that's absolutely fine. But send me your questions, your dating stories, your icks, all of that good stuff, and I will feature them on future episodes. Okay, let's get into the real talk section, where we're going to be talking about what to do if you're tired of waiting for love to manifest. Okay, let's talk about the wait. You know the one. The long wait between deciding I'm ready for love and, okay, where the hell is he? It's the part where your friends keep saying, you just have to be patient, and you smile politely while mentally setting their hair on fire, because patient, you've been saint level patient. You've done the waiting, the hoping, the pretending you're fine when someone says he'll show up when he's meant to. And let's be real. Sometimes this is not just annoying, it's absolutely exhausting. Like Charlotte said so well in Sex and the City, she threw her hands in the air and said, I've been dating since I was 15. I'm exhausted. Where is he? And so many people can relate to that. Exactly. Where is he? And I know you don't want a boyfriend just so someone can kill spiders or split the Deliveroo bill, although that's an added perk. You want partnership, depth, real actual love. You want someone who gets you, your soft heart, your big laugh, and your complicated past. But it can feel like all you seem to attract are emotionally unavailable men who think texting back within 72 hours deserves some sort of trophy. So you start to question everything. Dating feels kind of gross. Maybe you're thinking, is it me? Did I miss the moment? And if you're anything like most people I work with in this in-between space, you're probably swinging wildly between feeling hopeful and quietly losing your mind. But here's what no one's told you. What you're experiencing, the wait, is totally normal. This is rhythm. Because although you might not want to hear this, love will not show up on your perfectly planned schedule because it's not an Amazon Prime order. It isn't the universe forgetting you. It's preparing the moment to land in perfect timing, whether that's tomorrow or in 5 years. And I know if one more person says, it'll happen when you least expect it, you might just scream until your face turns blue. I know it's annoying, but you don't need to do more. You just need to trust the rhythm. Now, if you've dipped even one toe into manifesting before, you've most likely heard about the law of attraction. It's the one everyone talks about. It's like the Beyonce of manifesting. Visualize it, align your vibe, match the frequency of love. Boom, your soulmate arrives holding flowers and a flat white latte. And listen, the law of attraction is real. But here's what most people don't realise. The law of attraction is just one of 12 universal laws. 12. So it's not the only one that's driving your manifesting. It's just the one that gets the most press. And when it comes to love, there's another law that can hold so much power over how and when things unfold. And that is the law of rhythm. So if it feels like nothing's happening, if you're stuck in the awkward, what even is my dating life right now phase, you're probably just in a different part of the rhythm. Because manifesting isn't just about calling something in, it's also about knowing when to trust the timing that it's meant to arrive in. So the law of rhythm says that everything in the universe moves in cycles. So there's expansion and contraction, action and rest, blooming and stillness, just like nature. You don't question that winter comes after autumn, right? You're not screaming at the trees for not flowering new leaves in January. You accept it because you know that spring will come, because it always does. And yet, when it comes to your love life, you panic. You treat the quiet like it's a crisis. But what if it's just winter? What if you're just between seasons of your love life? There are times when things are moving. Maybe you're swiping on dating apps, chatting, going on dates. You got stories for your girls' group chat and pictures in your camera roll. But then there are other times where it feels like nothing. No matches, no dates. Just your mum asking if you've tried that new app and your ex from 3 years ago watching every one of your Instagram stories. It's in these slower seasons that you can start spiraling. You think, should I be doing more? Is there something wrong with me? You start pulling out your crystals like defibrillators, trying to shock your love life back. But the law of rhythm says this is not the moment to force. This is the moment to trust. Because if you try to drag love into the wrong season just to fill the silence or soothe your ego or tick a box, you end up with something that's not right. You attract someone who feels good briefly but can't actually meet you where you need them to be. Someone who says they can't stop thinking of you after just one date but still isn't over their ex from 2019. You don't want that. You don't want the relationship equivalent of strawberries in January. Technically possible, but probably weird and slightly disappointing. You want something ripe, something in season, something real. And to get that, you've got to stop thinking of stillness as a failure. You've got to stop treating the quiet as a cosmic no from the universe, because it's not a no, it's just a not yet. The universe is never behind schedule. You're just in a different part of the rhythm. And yes, it can absolutely feel frustrating. Of course it does. You're human. You want to know when. You want movement, progress, dates with actual connection. But trying to rush love before the rhythm is ready, that's how you end up stuck in loops, repeating lessons, settling for crumbs and wondering why you're not getting the relationship that you want. So instead of wondering, where is he? Ask yourself, what season am I in? And what's this season asking of me? Because if it's winter, you rest, you reflect, you strengthen your roots. So that when spring does come, when love does start to look like it's going to start coming through, you're grounded, you're clear, and you know you're worthy of it. Now, nothing messes with your head quite like the sense that everyone else is ahead of you. Your mate from uni days just got engaged, or that girl from your old job is having her second baby. Meanwhile, you're sat in your dressing gown at 10 o'clock trying to work out if it's too desperate to message someone first. But the law of rhythm reminds us that not everything blooms at the same time. You're not supposed to follow someone else's timeline. You're meant to follow your own. And I know that's hard when your group chat or your Instagram is full of weddings, new relationships, baby scans. But some people meet their person at 23 and spend their 20s building a life together. Others maybe need more seasons spent on building themselves. Take Jennifer Aniston. People love to paint her as some kind of romantic sob story. Oh, poor Jen, she never found the one. as if the only way to measure a woman's worth is whether a man bought her a ring. But here's another way to look at it. Maybe Jen's path, her rhythm, looks different for a reason. Maybe the kind of partnership she's destined for needs more time. And so maybe so do you. Maybe you're here to build a love that's deep, conscious, soul-shaking, and that kind of love doesn't show up early just to fill the space that's making you feel impatient, because it arrives when you're fully ready to hold it and hold on to it. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It doesn't mean you need to be more chill or change your vibe or pretend to be someone you're not. It just means that you're being guided by a rhythm that's bigger than what you can currently see. So you're not late. You're being prepared for someone who can meet you, see you, walk beside you without flinching. So the next time you find yourself thinking, I should be further along by now, remember you're not behind. You're just in your own beautiful, sacred season. And when it's your time, you won't have to chase it. You'll just know, because it will feel like you've got a version of love that was always meant for you and it arrived right on time. So remember, if love moves in cycles, then the question isn't, why hasn't it happened yet? It's, where am I in my rhythm? Are you in a planting season where you need to be setting intentions, healing old wounds, getting clear on what love actually means to you? Are you in a growing season, stretching into new habits, testing boundaries, dating again, even if it's just for the fun stories? Are you in a resting season where everything feels quiet, slow, maybe a little bit lonely, but also strangely peaceful? Or maybe finally you're in a reaping season, the one where the shift clicks and you start seeing real soul-led love show up. Not all seasons will feel exciting. Not all seasons are hot girl summer. Some are stop texting your ex just because you're bored season. Some are sit with your own company without spiraling season. Every single one matters just as much as the other, because even when nothing feels like it's happening, I can guarantee you that something is happening. Maybe this is the season where you're building the capacity to actually receive love, not just romantic attention, but the kind of love that honours you and meets you where you are. You can't skip to the good part just by asking the universe to deliver a lot quicker. This is the bit of the rom-com that they usually montage through, you know, the bits in between the heartbreak and the breakthrough, and it's normally about a minute or two, but in real life it can take longer, it can take months, it can take years. But those are the seasons where things really shift, because you start asking yourself, who am I becoming? So we've established that you're not behind, you're not broken, you're not cursed by a dating app algorithm, you're just in a season, you're in a rhythm. Cool. But what do you do while you're in it? Do you need to buy more rose quartz? Do you need to say your affirmations louder? Do you need to make a different kind of vision board? Well, no, because it's actually about preparing energetically, which means making small, grounded, powerful choices as if love is inevitable. Not just possible, inevitable. So it means showing up for yourself the way you want someone else to. Being intentional with your time. Being honest about your standards. Taking the attention off of them and back onto you. It means unclenching your grip on the timeline, letting go of that mental idea of it should have happened by now, and instead stepping into the belief that your love story isn't delayed, it's just in divine development. Because here's where your power lives, not in trying to force someone to choose you, not in lowering your standards so that it takes away the loneliness, not in sending another "hey, how are you" text to someone who's already shown you their lack of capacity. Your power is in your belief. The deep, grounded, I know it's on the way, even if I'm not sure how kind of belief. It's in the version of you who walks through the season she's in with a calm knowing that what's coming is already hers. Because your person is coming. They're not late, they're aligned. And your rhythm, whether it's slow, messy, chaotic, calm, it's not wrong. It's working. Even when it feels like nothing's happening, everything is unfolding, so trust it. If this feels hard to get your head round, I want you to sit and imagine that you had been able to see into the future and you could see 1,000,000% that you were going to meet the person that was perfect for you in every way. Then think about, how would you show up differently in your life today if you knew that that was the case, that that relationship was inevitable? What different choices would you make? What different thoughts would you have? That's what you need to focus on getting into alignment with. Have that knowing that that relationship is inevitable, providing you show up as the person that believes it. Okay, so we've packed a lot in today's episode, and that's it for this week. So thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, I'm sending you lots of love, light, and manifesting vibes.